it's a real positive, and you know, we take out some of the silly plays like JT's foul just before half-time, Jesse's charge foul. We get rid of those things, and we're in great shape. And to be 1 point down, you know, that's the one pleasing thing so far.
Thanks very much, mate. Steve, up to you, boys, and let's hope for a big second half.
Thanks, Will. Game underway here. Perth Wildcats miss, but Julian Kazoo can't gather in that rebound. So they'll get another crack on this possession. Brand new 24-second shot clock.
They might not be happy with the way things are going, and you never are as a coach, but we're only talking about some fine-tuning in these, because so far that first half is a very high-quality game. Sean Redditch been very aggressive on the offensive end.
Such a tough cover, Sean Redditch. He made that shot look easy as he was shooting a runner. Well, had some sideways element as well.
Steve, he missed his first 5 shots. He was 0 for 5, but he continues to shoot it in his last 2 that he's made. You'd never know that he was 0 for 5 prior to that, and that is post with the one-legged flyer with the answering basket.
Yeah, he can flat out score. Playing with confidence like that. Redditch from 3. That rims out. Kazoo trying to come up with a loose ball, gets it indirectly to Grant. Grant gets a pass from Magin. And Grant, who's had a lot of opportunities point blank over the last couple of games, gets that one to go. Well, let's not forget about the 2 jams he had in the first half. Lish with a long 3. The rebound goes eventually to Grant. And Lish was always going to have to go down on the block instead of trying to elevate with Jerry Grant. Good rebound and quick pass by Luke Cooper, who gets the start in the second half as he did in the first.
Have a look, there's Jerry Grant and Kevin Lish just with the sacrificial foul there to make him go to the free throw line.
Right.
To earn him the harder way.
He's got blood on his shirt. Who's that? Got him out of the game, blood on his shirt. Yep, sub wide, sub rule.
Damian Martin's got blood on his jersey, so
Got to sub out.
he has to sub out. He wants to change his jersey, but he has to actually have somebody come in for him.
This has to be done, and Damian Martin is just in some ripping condition as well as he whips the gear off. The thing about it is, Steve, he's got a few little specks of blood, but what do you do when you're against the Melbourne Tigers or the Perth Wildcats when they're red? They can't be seen in those circumstances, so just a bit of a handicap for wearing the white, perhaps.
That's right. Well, if you play like a UFC fighter, then maybe you ought to play for a team that wears red. Grant comes up short on his first free throw.
And that's where the fouling to put him on the line pays dividends. Kevin Lish, it was only his first foul, so you wouldn't think that would cause him too much problems as the game goes on.
The second one looked much better. Looked like he just didn't get up on his toes on the first one. Looked flat. Neville trying to back down Julian Kazoo. And this is what Tim Mills was warning these 2 guys about.
Ooh, a few words exchanged there too, Steve.
Between who?
Anatoly Bose and Brad Robbins. Brad Robinson's not going to back down from anyone. But I think it's a smart move by Moose for ability to put Anatoly Bose on Kevin Lish. Just that size, just putting that little bit of extra pressure on those perimeter shots with the length.
Kazoo's off the mark, kept alive by Luke Cooper. Ball stripped from Jerry Grant, but it'll stay Sidney King's ball. And I think maybe Julian Kazoo ought to just put that cue in the rack from the perimeter. Maybe the size of Neville has made him shoot more from the perimeters. Grant grabs another offensive rebound and put back and score.
Just a wonderful, wonderful gift to have. I sit here and envy Steve for a man that can just go up and elevate above everyone else. No run-up, just straight up and down, and can just rise above.
And he just snatched that off the top of the pile. What would that be like up there? I have no idea.
As
especially with no run-up. Comes up short on that one. Kazoo keeps it alive. Somehow goes upstairs and throws it off Sean Redditch.
Good smart play by Julian Kazoo. He stayed with the play, and he knew he wasn't going to get it, so he just a little deflection under Sean Redditch's foot, and he gets the reward.
Imagine has his shot timed by Kevin Lish.
Stand there. Meter.
A little bit of feeling coming into this game.
Careful with the elbow. Here we go. Blue.
Kevin Lish is saying we're good. Having some words. Grant upstairs for the jam. Jeremy Grant on the out-of-bounds play from Luke Cooper.
Just an outstanding pass by Luke Cooper. And although he's out of bounds, when you've got an athlete like Jeremy Grant, you've got to put pressure on the ball. That's going to be on all night.
Robbins gets it to Luke Neville. It was not as spectacular, but the same result. Two-hand jam by Luke Neville, and that's his third dunk of the night. And quietly going about his business as well. There's a hand check by Kevin Lish.
By 12, hand check.
Luke Neville's got 14.
Look at this, Steve.
Look at that. That was a perfect pass.
It was. It was almost, it's certainly going to hit the ring. It might have even gone in.
I don't think that should have counted.
And he just, no, you're allowed to catch that.
Oh, okay.
Because he's not shooting it from outside the court.
That would look like it was in. Bose is fouled. And Anatoly Bose with 2 of these this game, where he plays for the foul on previous games, and it's a lonely feeling when you play for the foul and there's no call.
Well, that's just a scorer's instinct there. He knew there was a little bit of contact, and rather than just trying to pull up on it, he throws a shot at the ring. And as you say, Steve, it can look very, very ugly if you don't get the call. But it goes his way, and Anatoly Bose just letting himself down. He's got 10 points, 2 of 4 from the field, but 6 of 10 from the free throw line. I love the work ethic of this young man. He misses another one, but tonight on the glass he's been very good.
Enough pass into Redditch. Toby puts it on the floor, gets it to Neville. Contact, no call, but he gets the follow-up in the putback. Luke Neville with 16. Enjoying the absence of his teammate, Matthew Knight. Neville not getting spot minutes. Bose with the mishandle. Gets it to Grant. Bose puts it on the floor, gets it to Kazoo. A terrible pass. Cam Toby with the catch and the score. Perth make it a 2-point game. 6:20 to go here in the third. Sydney have hit a flat spot. Wildcats have scored the last 6. Kazoo, another pass that's deflected. Bose to Grant. Grant to Cooper. That'll be a violation.
If it had hit the ring, they would have got away with it. Steve, that looked like a very tired and lethargic half-court set by the Sydney Kings. They ran through their offense and got it through some hands, but the problem was their cutting was slow and the screening was poor. They were just going to spots on the floor rather than going and hitting men. The receiving, the guy that's coming off that screen wasn't timing the cuts, so they were just running to spots. And against a good team like the Perth Wildcats, you're going to have to execute better than that if you're going to get good looks.
And that's the problem against the Perth Wildcats. Their depth and their intensity wear you down over the course of 4 quarters. And the finish. Sean Redditch gets that one on a nice dish by Toby.
And we see it again on the defensive end. Not only they look lethargic on the offense, but that play would be ringing alarm bells in the ears of Ian Moosh-Rabilliard at the ease at which Sean Redditch gets that shot.
Redditch with the timely 3, who's just checked into the game. Robbins. Wagstaff puts it on the floor. Toby into Wagstaff.
Foul's going to be called on Luke Neville. There was a switch, and he was guarding Sean Redditch. Redditch cuts to the basket, and the little hip and shoulder by Luke Neville to try and keep him off the block is what he got called for. Wholesale changes. Robbins, Redditch, Litch, out of the game.
Just a shot by you.
Damien Martin coming back in. Williamson.
And Martin wearing the number 8. Williamson.
Okay.
And Cam Toby. Martin looking to turn the corner. He throws his floater. That's long. At a tough angle. Couldn't use the glass. Martin looking for Grant down low. Finds Dan. Luke Martin in rhythm. That's way off the mark. Martin shooting the basketball well from the perimeter. Came and gave Sydney a spark off the bench. Drew Williamson, that's what his job is, and he does his job very well to tie it up at 56 with a couple of three-point baskets by both teams.
Drew Williamson is the Steve Kerr of the Perth Wildcats. Just comes in, he's a three-point shooter. Oh, Kevin Rash complaining to the referee. Just needed to get back. He might have been able to contest with that.
Yeah, that'll get you a seat on the bench every time. Dan puts it on the floor. Clears some space for himself. Ratch trying to stay in the game. Looking too late, but he's drained his 17-footer. And I think Peter Baird has changed that sub.
I don't know. I think he might stick with it because very few coaches don't want to make a point of that. Little 2-3 zone by the Sydney Kings.
Wagstaff.
Oh, he got away with it. Oh, no, he didn't travel. Again, just the sliding of the pivot foot.
And it's Magin that comes out. Anatoly Bose comes in for him. Timeout on the floor. The Sydney Kings and the Perth Wildcats are locked at 58 with 3:33 to go in the third.
If you're a car maker, the better the quality of your steel, the stronger the car. So we made this, a state-of-the-art steel plant. Sealed so no contaminants can get in, so what comes out is pure, premium-grade steel, making cars that are stronger, safer, and longer lasting. That's new thinking. That's Hyundai.
That shot, take it. Okay, on our penetration, Damo, okay, these guys might be open as well. But look to attack the rim. Be aggressive out there. You've got to compete a lot harder. Okay, get on the glass. Hey, we're ready. On ball straight. We're ready. 3, 2, 1.
Rod Beveridge, if you're a shooter, you love to be hearing that timeout where he's just thoroughly encouraging his team to be more aggressive and telling Jesse Wagstaff to shoot it when he was open, because he did hesitate a little bit when he had that three-point attempt before, put it to the floor and got called for the travel. So,
well, he tells me he practices that thing all the time. And the Sydney Kings bring it up with the assistance of Luke Martin to try and break the deadlock of this game. Ratch has it stolen by Damian Martin. Wagstaff just in front of Graham Dan. And although Ratch has hit a couple of shots, he's just playing with no confidence.
With just a couple of sloppy turnovers by Ratch.
Dan drives the length of the court, but can't get the finish. Wildcats. Another loose turnover. Graham Dan, Grant to Bose. And there's a foul.
Awkward play. Nothing malicious in that by Jesse Wagstaff, but one of those ones that can be dangerous. Just making sure there was no chance of him making the two. And Jesse Wagstaff checks out of the game.
Yeah, he knew it was, well, maybe not that close. It wasn't, I don't think it was unsportsmanlike, but he had his hands up in the air like, I'm innocent.
Yeah, he just lost a little balance.
Had a chat to him about being careful. He's sweet. All right.
Yeah. I think, you know, that's a good piece of officiating, you know. It's not an unsportsmanlike foul, but it was a little dangerous.
Because it was awkward.
Yeah.
The way they landed was awkward. And Anatoly Bose is got some things going on his head from the free throw line that he needs to resolve because he's getting there regularly tonight. 6 of 11. And I think there's a fundamental flaw in his technique, Steve. He just snatches at it, doesn't hold his follow through. That one was a little bit better. But when he really snatches at it, almost pulls it back. Dre Grant checks out of the game. Ben Manchin coming back in.
Yeah, 7 for 13. That means you've got a lot of free throws to get your rhythm. Upstairs to Neville. He's pushed in the back by Julian Kazoo.
Kings went to their 2-3 zone, and the big fella, that size advantage he's got. I mean, that is a huge weapon when you just throw it up. So they just throw it up there, and Graham Dan coming from behind.
You know, when you have personnel like the Perth Wildcats have, sometimes an injury to a key player isn't such a bad thing, because Luke Neville, he was improving at a very good rate on this team. And now his improvement has been accelerated by all this opportunity.
You did right, and a similar argument could be made for the Sydney Kings with Aaron Bruce not there. Just gives Luke Martin, Luke Cooper and Ben Manchin the understanding they know they're going to play a little bit more. And you just get that little bit more confidence. Carrying Paul.
It was carrying, double dribble. That was ugly. Kings draw blank on that turnover. And the Wildcats. Drew Williamson tries to find a teammate. Now everybody for the Perth Wildcats know that Drew Williamson is going to shoot.
And he should have shot that one.
Stand up.
Bose, the smaller Martin on his back, shoots the floater over the top. Good D, but Damian Marks didn't matter. Anatoly Bose makes it a one-point game, and Bose has 13. Drew Williamson, that's what he's paid to do. Bose gets it to Kazoo, but he can't get it. Bose does. Magin ahead. Spins, tries to get it to a teammate. Bose, it's ugly, but eventually they get it to Julian Kazoo. Sydney Kings up by one, 63-62. Just over a minute to go in the third. Toby, his left-hand floater, that's a big rebound by Bose. Kings with Martin. Pull up for a transition three, that's long.
It's been a good response by the Sydney Kings. Getting some good baskets.
Williamson again off the mark. Martin for three. That's way off. Graham Dan with a good heads-up play. Perth thought it went off of Graham Dan, but it was Drew Williamson who had a foot on the line when he threw it out. When he threw it off of him. 37 seconds to go. Substitution, Jeremiah Truman comes in for Luke Neville.
2-for-1 opportunity here for the Sydney Kings. They want to get this shot off with about 30 seconds remaining, so get a quick one, and they know they're going to get another opportunity if they get it up quick.
Kazoo spins to the right. Kazoo has struggled to get it going tonight against the Perth Wildcats. He is 3 for 9.
He's still got the 8 boards. He's working hard, but you're right, Steve. I think he's shown signs of anxiety as he tries to get back on track offensively. As we mentioned, only been averaging 13 points a game since coming back from his NBA tryout. Before that, he was at 18.5 points a game. So, in his last 5 games, just coming off the boil a little bit, and during that stretch is only shooting at 38%. Now, I know he has to face a lot of double teams, but around the basket with his size, he needs to be shooting it at better than 38%.
And the Kings are just barely making more than 1 of 2 from the foul line. 15 of 28 on the night. They still hold a 2-point lead. 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Williamson with 3 on the shot clock. Sydney Kings foul. That's Graham Dan with hands in.
Well, they've got fouls to give, so that won't send the Wildcats to the line. They've still got another foul to give.
Timeout.
The Perth Wildcats, they burn one of their timeouts to try and get a basket with 5.97 seconds remaining in the third.
Plenty of time to get a good shot. And Perth, knowing how big this possession is in this game, get the timeout.
What a game we've got going on here, Steve. The Sydney Kings are in some fantastic form. Jeray Grant with 17 points, leading the way at 7 of 11 and 7 rebounds. Anatoly Bucks, as we mentioned, doing some good work as well with 13 points and 6. It's been the rebounding work of the Sydney Kings in this second half. They're at 30, and the Perth Wildcats have dropped off ever so slightly. They're only at 29. But Steve, the Perth Wildcats have had 19 assists in 3 quarters of basketball. And it is just a joy to come to Sydney games.
He's so professional. I'm so impressed. And all of those stats, not all of them, but plenty of stats provided us tonight by Matt McQuaid. And he does a lot of writing for the NBL website, the Sydney Kings website. I don't think I've ever been to a game in any city that he's in that he hasn't attended. Great fan. It goes to the Sydney Kings. Don't have that